What's up, guys? We got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're going to let some more people in, and then we'll get this started. Good morning, everybody. Morning if you're on the East Coast. If you're in another country, it might be good afternoon. We're going to get this started here shortly, guys. All right. Good morning, guys. What is going on? What's going on, guys? We got another morning here. Live stream. It's been almost a week and a half since I've done a live stream. I've been really busy, but all right. Good morning, guys. We're gonna hop on this. What's going on, guys? We got a couple things we're gonna go over this morning. Certainly gonna start with some top-down analysis here on a bunch of different levels. So let's get it going. Give it another minute here. Trying to get the music in the background. Last time I had music in the background, my video got flagged for copyright infringement, so may have to go without the music today, so I apologize for that. I like a little background music, but yeah, I don't want to get flagged for copyright infringement again. Unfortunately, that is what happened on the last live feed, so 2 hours of streaming went down the window. All right. Let's see here. So first, if you guys could just go ahead and like the stream on the bottom, that would be great. If you go ahead and like the stream there, right on the bottom, would appreciate that. Like, subscribe if you're not already. And then we'll take a look here at what we're gonna be hopping in on, if we're gonna be hopping in on anything. But as of right now, we had a good trade yesterday in the VIP group. We had one losing trade in the VIP group, but our winning trade was quite the trade here. So let's do a little top-down analysis here. So we're not going to touch Euro JPY right now. We're in between zones. We did kind of reach the top of a resistance zone right here where I have this blue line. We did kind of reach a resistance area, but we're not going to touch that for right now. Yes, we do have a bearish engulfing candle. Yes, we could take a sell here. But again, you also have this level right here. So I don't really, not really sure what it's going to do. This could just be a retracement to keep going. So we're not going to really touch that one right now. So we're going to go with volume here. So let's see, GBP AUD. Let's take a look here. GBP AUD has come up to retest the resistance zone here. So if we get closure above here, I'd be comfortable taking a buy. We'll hop down to the 4-hour time frame just to verify here. So on the 4-hour, the last candle closed bearish and it did not break the previous high. So we're going to need to see another candle close above this line to be able to take a buy, or below this line to be able to take a sell. Based off the previous candle close, we're not 100% sure yet. This is still a little bit uneasy, but we're going to put closures above for buys. So if we get a closure above the range here, we'd look on taking a buy. This is on the 4-hour. We can take a look at the 1-hour. So if we look at the 1-hour again, we're kind of bumping this zone right here, not really passing it. We're just kind of bumping it. So yeah, we need to see closures above here. Euro JPY, we already talked about. We're in the middle of a zone. We're not going to touch this. USD JPY, very similar. If we hop to the 4-hour to see what our overall trend is, we did close bullish on the past 2 4-hour candles. So the past 8 hours both closed bullish, which is definitely a positive sign. But again, we're in between support and resistance zones here. I don't like to trade in between that just because we don't know if this is going to shoot down or if this is going to go back up this way. We don't know. So we're going to hold off on this as well. Let's see, GBP USD on the 4-hour rejected pretty hard with a long wick. We all know wick means range. So a wick is not a bad thing, but let's see here. You got a trend line here. You got a trend line there. This could become an upswing. Actually, it's a lot longer than that. This could become a upswing. It's actually even longer than that. That is an uptrend right now. So we're in the middle of a zone. This could become a wedge. We could get it to right here, and then it could drop. You got an ascending wedge here. This is GBP USD on the 1-hour. If we hop to the 4-hour over here, we can see that we closed very, very bearish. We had a range that was filled. We had a big red candle with almost no wick. Now one of two things can happen here. So we can see this continue to drive down. Or we can see this range right here getting filled. And if this range gets filled, it's going to go this way. That would be my guess, being that we had no range or no wick down here really. And typically when there's no wick, it's a sign of a reversal. So no wick and then a long wick here. Most likely this wick's going to be filled like it has in the past. But we're going to need to see some sort of more confirmation before we jump in on this. But it is bouncing off of a trend line. So if it doesn't break this trend line on the 1 hour, we could also take a buy here. So I'm going to mark this as green. So we got that as green. What did we have? GPB AUD is green also. Euro JPY, we got nothing. GBP USD is green. I'm going to move that to the top. All right. So everyone's clear on that. If anyone has any questions, definitely let me know. I'd like to answer any questions you may have. Let's go to CHFJPY. So again, we have a strong support zone. We have a strong accumulation zone here in the center. And we have another strong support zone here. And another one down here. So let's hop to the 4 hour to just do a top-down analysis here. So we have a lot of accumulation here between this 141,889 area and the 140,057 area. We're not going to touch this right now again just because the past 4 hours have charted sideways. Actually, really 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. Almost for the past 2 days, we've charted side zones. So we're not going to really touch this one. I don't like anything on that. Even if we hop down to the hour here, you can see we have a reversal going, but again, here's another support, a mini support here. This could drive back up this way. No real confirmation here. All right, so we've got, let's see. We've got an interesting chart right here. We've got accumulation on Euro AUD at the top of a new zone. Let's make this a bit smaller. We've got accumulation here. We've created higher highs and higher lows. So we can confirm that this is in fact an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. So we are in an uptrend on this one. We're now at a pretty strong resistance and support zone here. So we've gotten to a point where right there, right here, and now right here, we're going to have to figure out what we want to do. Looking at this, if we can get a full green engulfing candle here, we could take a buy here. So I'm going to mark this. But Euro AUD looks pretty solid for a buy. If we go to the 4 hour chart, if we go to the 4 hour chart, we had a long wick, again indicating range. Not much wick at the top on either of these. So we might see some retracement down before this goes up. But on the 4 hour, we had some good movement here. We're going to look for buys on this with closure above this area. Closure above, we can look to take a buy. And if you guys have any questions at all during this, please feel free to ask in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. This is for everybody to learn. I'm not just doing this for myself. This is where I want everybody to learn and understand how I analyze charts, like top down, top to bottom, 4 hour all the way down to 15 minute, 5 minute if we end up going there. So this is important for everyone, and if you want to ask questions, please go ahead and do so. I'll make sure to answer to the best of my ability, and we'll get you squared away on making sure you're clear on why we're entering trades, why we're not entering trades, what's going on with the charts, how I'm analyzing, so please make sure you answer if you have any questions. Definitely. All right. Let's see here. So again, closure above on this hour candle, or maybe even on the 15-minute candle. 15-minute candle. No, probably going to wait for the 30-minute candle on this one to enter anything. Because here we had a long wick. If we can fill this range and get a closure above, looks like we could see this fly. So that's actually a really good thing. Euro AUD. So write that down. That's the best trade that we're looking at right now. Again, we're just analyzing. We haven't really gotten to into every area of our analyzing session here, but this is so far looking like the best one. All right, so let's go to AUD JPY. We already talked about that. All right, AUD NZD. So we did get closure below here. This is pretty much in free fall now. Let's hop to a higher time frame. So we have a little bit of a zone right here where it had trouble breaking. So that's why we have a little bit of it. We almost had a 4-hour doji candle here with very long wicks shooting down. One of two things could happen here. We can either see these wicks filled, or we could fill the rest of this zone. Let's put an arrow here. If we look at this, we could see this fill this zone right here. Or we can get a short rejection before that happens, because we did create a wick here. It could go this way, and then from here we might see something like that. So there's a couple things that could happen here, and that's because of the wick. Again, the doji right here, this dragonfly doji, does not automatically mean that we're going to see a reversal in the patterns here. It does not automatically mean that. So, yeah, let me grab the eraser here. Yeah, so we're going to wait to see what happens there. If a pullback happens, it's possible for a buy. Yeah, so if a pullback happens, it could be possible for a buy. However, being that we did cross this area and fully close below it, I have a feeling this thing's driving down. I mean, we're almost in free fall here. There's nothing here stopping it other than this area right here. This is going to be our next support, really. So this right here, too, is going to be our next support. So if we were to draw, here, let's put some horizontal lines here. You got a support here, and you got a support here. So this is pretty much in free fall to right here. And also to right here. And then if we were looking for a third take profit, you're looking like to right there. And again, this is all dependent on what happens. This is not guaranteed. But based off what I'm seeing and reading candlestick patterns and reading candlestick charts, this wick right here is probably going to wick down. Especially since we blew through this zone. So if we wanted to put, buys with or sells with closure below here, we could do that. Sells with closure below there. But we're going to probably hold off on this one for the time being. That we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a green doji. We're probably going to hold off on this. Again, there's nothing really back this way other than this tiny little support. There's not too much indicating that this is not going to fall. But if we can get some closure below this area and that it's within this free fall zone, this should probably drive down. So we'll keep an eye on that for a sell. If I were to buy, which time frame? I'll probably on the hour time frame, we need to see some sort of bullish engulfing candle. So on the hour time frame, I'm going to need to see, some sort of candle up here. Just because you could still see a small buy right here and another buy here and another buy here, but it could reject from here and then start to go this way. So on the hour candle, I need to see a pretty strong bullish engulfing candle to take a buy on this. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, I see a doji right here. That's typically a sign of reversal. Yes, it is. It is a sign of reversal. However, being that we did break through this zone, we clearly broke through our support zone that we've set for ourselves. I'm going to need to see more confirmation to take a buy. And honestly, I'm thinking sell over buy on this one all day, if that makes sense. All right, NZD, JPY. Again, all the JPY pairs right now are all in the same kind of boat. Sitting in the center here, not much to do. They're all just sitting in the center. So we're probably not going to touch any JPY pairs. All right, let's take a look at Euro GBP. So let's get rid of this line. Euro GBP. All right, we're gonna add a couple different things here. So we're gonna mark this chart up to get a more accurate reading, because there is a lot going on this chart right now. We're gonna put our zone from there to here, because we got resistance here, we got resistance there, support and resistance here. Got a lot of upward accumulation right there. You got another zone right here. This chart is kind of messy. Kind of messy, actually. So we are not going to touch this chart again. This is charting in the middle for one. It pretty much went parabolic here. I mean, this is, we don't really know what it's going to do from there. It could reject and come back down, or it can drive straight through here. So this is a low probability trade. If we go to the 4 hour, just to take a look at the 4 hour, the only good thing about the 4 hour is you do have two dojis formed, which is a strong sign of reversal. One is a strong one, but two is typically a really strong one. If you look back over here on Euro GBP, we had 1, 2, 3 dojis, a couple pips up, and then a massive drop. So same thing could happen here. We could get 1, 2, and then maybe 3, and then another drop. Or we could see the opposite, and it could blow through, just like it did here. So we're not going to touch this one right now. We're going to steer clear from this one as well. Euro GBP, not too much going on. Let's see here. So we're on AUD USD. We're definitely in a downtrend on the 4 hour here. Let's see. We are in a downtrend on the 4 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour here. And so if we take a look at the the 1 hour here. We're at a pretty strong support point here on the 1 hour. Not really seeing. We're going to need to see rejection, just like we did over here. Again, and I'm just going through the charts the way I would go through them before I send things out to you guys. So, again, ask me questions if there's questions that you have or if there's something that you want to know, because this is what I do every single day. Every single day when I get on the charts, I'm going to go through all of these one by one, draw my zones. I obviously had my zones preset because it takes a long time to draw them. But if there's questions that you have, this is what I do and this is how I do it. So that's why I'm doing this live for you. And hopefully we'll get in a live trade. Obviously the charts are going to be all dependent on that, but the goal is to get in a live trade on here with you guys and make some money. So we're going to need to see a strong resistance here. So we're going to want to see a bearish engulfing candle, or I'm sorry, bullish engulfing candle here. So we're going to put this right there, and we're going to put buys with bullish engulfing buys with bullish engulfing candle if we can get that. Otherwise, you're looking at sells if this thing breaks. But we'll put that as a possibility. Euro GBP, what do we put as that? Yeah, we're not touching Euro GBP. So let me unflag that. Let me move this up here. Okay, so we've got a couple charts marked up here. AUD, NZD, we already talked about. Excuse me, guys. Need some water. Excuse me. All right, so Euro JPY, no. AUD NZD. We've got a bunch of possible trades here, but we're going to keep going through and keep looking. Let's go to Euro GBP. Yeah, we looked at that. We're not touching that. We're not touching that. GBP CHF. Okay, we got an interesting chart here on the hour. A lot of buying power here. If you can see the volume down here, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of buying power. If this breaks, this could fly. I'd like to take a look at the 4 hour here. So we're at a pretty strong resistance area on the 4 hour. This whole area, sorry guys. This whole area is pretty strong resistance. But if we can get closure above here, so closure above the previous highs, we could take a buy. And then we'd have to figure out the range that we're looking to fill. So we're going to need to go back further here. Okay, so our next range is actually going to be up here. So this is where we'd learn how to set our take profits. But our next range is up through here. So that's our next area. That's our next range. And the reason being is because if you went back here, this was the top. And this was the kind of the bottom high. This was the top high. They had some issues breaking here, as you can see. Obviously, we had the one outlier there. But so that's going to be our next range. You'll have the top of this zone as one. You'll have the bottom of this zone as one. And, yeah, so you'll have kind of a couple areas there that you can look to take profit. But if we get buys with closure above, so we'll put buys with closure above the range there, hop back down to the 1 hour, make that look nice. Yeah, we get closure above this range, full body closure, we can look to take a buy. Definitely. And we'll make that green and we'll move it to the top. GBP. And if anyone has any charts they want me to look at that they see something, let me know. We'll look at them live together right now. There's no kind of rules. I dropped my cap. There's no there's no definite plan of how these streams go. I just want to help you guys and want to make some money together, so all right, let's take a look at, we've done enough chart analysis for now. We've looked at a ton of different ones here. So let's take a look here. So we have not gotten a closure above yet. We're going to hop to the 30-minute here because we're about to get a new 30-minute candle on all these charts. So nothing here really indicating that we take our buy yet. Not enough confirmation. Hopefully everyone understands why here we're not touching this yet. It's still in between a zone. We did not get closure above. We have confirmed that it is on an uptrend though, because we do have higher highs and higher lows every time. Higher low there than there. Higher high you do here than you do there. So we do have higher highs and higher lows. We are indicating an uptrend. If we wanted to draw that uptrend, we certainly could. Again, if we drew that uptrend based on this should actually come back somewhere near here and then bounce to go. Possibility, not 100% sure, but based on probability, that's what you're looking at. GBP USD. Let's see. We did have a trend line here. We're on the 30-minute. The trend line has been broken, it looks like. And we're getting a pretty big wick here. This is probably going to go for a sell. But again, we're in between zones. I'm not going to touch this. Not unless we had clear rejection at one of these zones. The only way we'd touch this is if we got a bullish engulfing candle on the next hour, signifying that it is respecting this trend line, because this trend line is pretty strong, dating back to what, the 25th. So we're looking at like a 5-day trend line here. That's a pretty strong trend line. But we could see it break right here. And if we do see it break right here, we could look for sells to fill this range. So that is definitely a possibility. But we're going to hold off on that due to how big this wick is and this trend line. This could be a reversal. It could fill this wick and go down. Not enough confirmation for me to hop in on a trade there, if that makes sense. All right, Euro AUD. We got our full candle closure above with a wick. Let me just look at something real quick, guys. Yeah, that one dropped. All right, this Euro AUD trade. We're going to enter based on the 5-minute if we enter this trade. This is the best looking trade by far. And I like this trade a lot. We had wicks, we have range. So I'm going to type it right here. All right, so we might look to enter a buy here on Euro AUD. We're going to need to see on the 5-minute here if we can break this on the 5-minute. So let me draw another ray here. If we can break this on the 5-minute, we will look to enter this. Let's see here. Yeah, so we're going to look to enter here. Once we get this closure above, we do have a bullish flag here too. If you guys know what that is, this is kind of like a bullish flag. This wedge is going to indicate that we should get upward movement. But we're just going to want to see some closure above here. If we can get closure above on the 5 minute to show us that this upward momentum is going to start driving, we'll look to take a buy. Hopefully it doesn't just float in between this zone. So we're going to sit on this chart right now. Let's put where our take profit and our stop losses would be. So our stop loss is going to be pretty tight. Probably somewhere down here. If we were to enter, it's going to be somewhere near this area. So the 1.53489. And then in terms of take profit, we're going to be flying. I mean, our take profit's going to be... Our first take profit's going to be right there. Our second take profit's going to be right there. And our third take profit would be right here. Again, this would be hoping for a massive swing. But realistically, we're just looking for 20 to 30 pips. We're not looking for a home run on every chart. I know a lot of people ask me why I get out so early. My goal is not to hit a home run every time. It's to have small, consistent wins. That is how you're going to become a consistent trader. The home runs are rare. Like last week, we had like a 36 pip trade on Euro JPY. To me, that's a home run. That's a home run. But, 10, 15 pips, that's where I kind of live in. And if we were to take our drawing tool out here, that's 21 pips to the first take profit. This one's 76 pips to the second take profit. That's 97 pips to the third take profit. I mean, obviously we don't know that that's going to happen, but because we have some key resistance areas here. But if we can get this closure above on the 5 minute, guys, we will enter this. But again, we need the confirmation. We're not just going to enter a trade because it's at a good spot. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. But we're holding off right now. Euro AUD is what we're looking at. Let's see here. I don't even think I have that up on my broker. There we go, Euro AUD. Any of you guys watch that football game last night? Couple good football games last night. I won some money on the Eagles game. Lost some money on the Chiefs game, unfortunately. I know we got some people from overseas in here. You guys call football, or football soccer. Soccer, football, same thing. American football is what I'm referring to. Yes, watch PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, I used to play as them on FIFA when they had Ibrahimovic. PSG's a hell of a team. And their jerseys are awesome. They're with Jordan, right? I think they're sponsored by Jordan. What was the score of that game? Did they win? Paris Saint-Germain. Probably not saying that right, but... Again, we're just waiting, guys. We're just waiting to get this closure above. and might wait till the 15-minute candle. But again, we scanned the market already, you know. We scanned the market. There's not much that we saw that we liked in terms of taking a trade. So that would be, oh wow, there you go. There's your bounce. There's not much that we saw on a lot of these trades. So this is by far the best trade in terms of confirmations once we get this. By the way, great news that we didn't have a wick here. That typically is a sign of a reversal, that we're going to go the other way. So great news that there's no wick here. As you can see, no wick there, no wick there. It drove up. No wick here. That typically means that we are going to drive up. So hopefully we get this closure above here. It's really what we're waiting for. Yeah, buys with closure above, baby. And then here, I'll draw this out. This would be our TP1. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. TP number 1. Again, we're not in this trade yet. I'm just kind of visualizing and charting it out for you guys. So when and if we do get in it, you understand what we're looking at. TP number 3. And TP number 2. Organize that a little better. And then we can put a stop loss. We can write that out too. Stop loss would be the bottom of this zone. So we have got our chart set up here. We can hop over to the 15-minute. We got our chart set up here, and this is a pretty nice looking chart in my opinion. I like this chart a lot. Again, we have to be conservative with the trades we take. We're not just going to hop in because it looks like it's going to go a certain way. We need to see that closure above. Oh, it was a draw with PSG, huh? Glad I didn't bet that game. I didn't realize it was a draw. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Again, we got rejection. We just want to see closure above the previous highs, guys. Closure above the previous highs, and we'll be in good shape. How many people here are in the Telegram group? The free or the paid one? Let me get an idea. How many people are from the actual groups and how many people are from YouTube? I'd love to know. I know Demchuk, I know you're in the group. VJ, I got a meeting with you later tonight, I believe. We have a one-on-one. Mark Littleson. We talk every day, so I know you. What else we got in here? Again, sorry I don't have the music, guys. I got flagged for copyright infringement last time, and it took my stream down. So we're getting some good movement on the 5-minute. Nessie from the group as well. Good. Good. See, man, she's playing with us right now. And this is the hardest part of trading. I know I go over this every time, but this is the hardest part of trading. Ariel, Yanni, VIP, we got the boys in here. Good. What's going on, guys? We're just waiting for closure above the range. Adiel, I think I said that right. Yeah, there we go. I got B-Ray on here as well. B-Ray just shot me a text. He's watching from Telegram. Good. Good. So we are waiting on our hands here, guys. This is the hardest part of trading, is that we have to sit and wait. I know we all want to get in a trade. We all want to make some money this morning. We did not look at Forex Factory yet, and that is something that is really important. So we're going to go to Forex Factory real quick. No news today that is going to heavily impact our trading today. No news. Tomorrow, I believe there's a ton of news. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. is going to be very volatile. So we can look tomorrow. We got unemployment rate coming out at night for New Zealand. We got employment change coming out for New Zealand. At 8:30, we got Canadian news, gross domestic product report. These red folders are going to show us what type of impact it's going to have on the actual market. So if it's red, you got to really be very cautious when you're trading those pairs. Red, you have to be cautious. The week after, there we go, our favorite non-farm payroll, non-farm employment, I should say, I apologize. Job openings, manufacturing PMI. My goodness, the U.S. has federal funds rate. I mean, it is a very, very volatile week in the stock market, so, and in the Forex market. So we, February 1st is what day? February 1st is a Wednesday. So Tuesday, I might trade live tomorrow so you guys can see how we trade GDP, and we'll either trade nighttime or in the morning. I'll put a poll in the group and see what people want to do, if they want to trade at nighttime or in the morning, what works better for everybody. But we'll go live for one of these news things, see if we can catch some pips. I'll show you how I kind of navigate the market during that time. But yeah, there's a lot of news this week, and you have to be careful when you're trading news, because we do get crazy spikes. And if you know how to trade it, the crazy spikes can help you. If you don't know how to trade it, you can lose a ton of money trading it the wrong way. So we'll do that. This may just be for the VIP. I may go live inside Telegram. Telegram lets you stream live now inside of Telegram, actually. So we'll see. I'll put a poll up probably today, see if we want to do that. We did get a new 15-minute candle here, so we're going to hop to the 15-minute on Euro AUD, and she's driving down. So again, it's good that we have not entered this trade yet, guys. It is really good we have not entered this trade, because we still have not gotten enough confirmation on the candlesticks. We have range with these wicks. We have the range, but we don't have any indication that this is going to drive up yet until we break these previous highs. Not yet, at least. The hour candle, I think, is going to be pretty big for us on this one. Bullish engulfing candle, also good for a buy. Again, that'd be a closure above. But on the hour chart, if we can get a bullish engulfing candle, that's going to be really nice for us. Really nice for us. Because it clearly has not broken this support in 3 hours now. And a wick right here, a top wick on this green candle, this green hour candle, is not a bad thing. Again, that shows range. So we want to have a wick. Ideally, I'd like it to break this. Ideally, in an ideal world, we want to see this go up to here and a body closure like here in this area. That way we know that there's range for it to move this way. And what we're probably going to see from here is some sort of break, retest, break, retest, break, retest, and go. Ideally, that's what we'd like to see. Yeah, I know. I looked up the non-copyright music, and I just didn't have time before the stream to get on and figure out how to get it working in the background. I'm using this OBS software, but I'll have it for the next stream. The non-copyright music. I have a tab up actually with that non-copyright music. I just can't get it to play in the background right now. I got to play around with the settings. I was using Apple Music, and that's what was screwing me. It was the Apple Music copyright issues. YouTube flagged me. Took down my whole 2-hour stream from last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. Alright, we got a crazy wick here. This could flip bearish going into the hour, which would be absolutely crazy. But we're just floating in the middle of the zone. Let's check some of these other charts. Let's go to the hour. Buys with closure above here. We don't have any sort of indication that this is going anywhere. This one's right in the middle. No indication here, guys. Again, it might hit this. If it hits this and bounces, we'll be in good shape. GBP USD, what a move. Okay, so we did get a rejection on GBP USD off this line, and it did flip bullish. That's a very good sign that it flipped bullish here. So we could look for buys here. Again, I'd want to see an engulfing candle. I'm going to need to see some more before we took a buy here, especially because we have this area kind of right here and this area kind of right there. We have levels here, and these levels are a little sketchy right now because, again, being that we are in between these two major zones, this could flip and go this way. Obviously, we want it to hit this trend line and go, but that's not 100% right now, if that makes sense. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream yet, go ahead and click that like button on the bottom. I'd appreciate it. If you're just hopping in, welcome. I see we just got a couple new people. If you're just hopping in, welcome. We are looking at a couple trades right now. Buys with closure above. Let's see. Buys with closure above also. Bullish engulfing. This could drive up as well. We got a couple decent looking charts. We would not want to get into two concurrent trades though. We definitely want to avoid getting into concurrent trades because that can get nasty. Wow, look at this. GBP CHF drove through the zone. If we can have this touch with some retracement and this become a new support line, this could also be a buy. So this 10 o'clock hour candle is going to be a big deal for us here, guys. And AUD NZD still floating on the line here. Nothing to really indicate that we'd enter this one quite yet. Because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of resistance here, or of support here. Let's see. GBP USD. Movement up. Euro AUD. This is the one that I'm really looking at right now. This Euro AUD is the one that we're really looking at here. I do like a lot of these other charts though, but again, Euro AUD and AUD USD are probably going to run inversely. One's going to run up, one's going to run down because of the pace pairs. So if this goes for a buy, this one should be going for a sell. And vice versa. If this goes for a buy, this should be going for a sell because of that. They both have AUD in them, so we wouldn't want to get in pairs that run concurrent with each other or opposite of each other. That's how you get into some trouble there. But we got 8 minutes until a new candle here. You know what we need to do? I think we need to flip green here. I got these LED lights. I'm going to flip it green. See if that helps us go green here. Yeah, we're green now. Flip green. Let's see if that helps us out. Yeah, a lot of selling pressure here, but that wick is a good thing. The wick is a very good thing. We got 7 minutes until our new candle. Hopefully you guys have these charts up with you as well, so you can see what's going on, what we're looking at. It's definitely good to have these charts up and have your charts marked up the way I do or the way you want to have them marked up. I would suggest having charts in a similar way that I have them. It's going to help you trade the way I do. I know last week we were at about 75 win rate. I think we were a little over 80% the week before that. So goal is to keep doing what we're doing. It's been working out well. Everybody has losses too. You know, I had a couple people message me about losses and they say their losses are blowing their account. If your losses are blowing your account, you are over leveraging the heck out of yourself, and we want to avoid that. So if you do have questions about your account and how to properly manage your risks, definitely reach out to me. We can work on risk management plans for your account to make sure you're not over leveraging yourselves and that your losses are not just absolutely crushing you. If your losses are crushing you, again, you're using probably too high of a lot size or entering too many trades. As you guys see, I enter multiple trades. I enter 4 times, and that's so we can take profit incrementally. And I know I've talked about this in one-on-ones with a lot of you guys, but it is very important to make sure that you are not over leveraging yourself on these trades, because you will have losses and you're not going to win at 100% of the time. If you win at 100% of the time, let me know and I'll pay you to trade for me, but nobody's winning at 100% of the time. Nobody's doing that. Because the markets are not 100% predictable. What we're looking for is the highest probability of trades, and the way we do that is closure above and reading candlestick patterns. So market structure. The market structure right now is indicating that this is a buy. However, it's not enough for me to buy until we get this break. Higher probability that when it does break, that it's going to keep going. GBP USD, big retracement here. That candle was way up there. But again, a good thing we have range. We have range on both sides, though, which is a problem. Range on both sides means we don't know where this could go. But we're hoping that this trend line that dates back to the 25th is going to stay intact and that this is going to fill this zone. Because we do have a higher high here, or higher low and higher highs. So we got 4 more minutes here, guys. Yeah, this one's going to be sketch. AUD USD. Wow, look at that. So that is a great sign on GBP CHF GC, if you will. That's a good sign that we saw this wick, because now we've created range that's broken this. one of two things could happen. We could get a massive red candle like we did with this wick, or we can fill this range. But if the body of the candle, so this is very important, I want you guys to understand this. If the body of this candle closes above the previous high and there's still a wick, that's an even better chance that this is going to drive. But if the body stays and respects the previous high, it might not go back up. So this is when body candlestick reading is going to really come into play. So now not only are we looking for buys with closure above the range, but the body of the needs to close above the previous high and still have a wick for it to show us that the range can be filled through the top. So we're not only looking for closure above, the body of the candle and where the body closes is also extremely important. AUD, NZD, we got no idea what that's going to do. GBP, Euro, AUD, AUD, USD. So here's the thing too, if you look at AUD USD and AUD USD looks like it's going to have a buy, that means this one's probably going to sell and vice versa. But again, we had that here, so we could have this fill that way too. This is going to be, this hour is going to be extremely interesting to see what happens here. Let me see something here. Let me see, I believe it looks like my camera might have frozen. Yeah, it looks like my camera did freeze. Huh, interesting. Alright, looks like we're going no camera for the rest of this. Sorry, guys. Trying to fix it, but looks like my camera did freeze. Oh, I know what I could do. I know exactly what I can do. And again, we're waiting here for this closure above anyway, so we got a second. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. Does not normally happen. Setting this thing up midstream. Switched cameras to my Canon. I got a little bit of a nicer Canon camera, but the battery doesn't last that long, so let's see, that should be good right there. Sorry about that, guys, but we're back. Hopefully you can see me now. There we go. Okay, we're back online. And let's take a look at these trades. Let's see what we're doing here. Nothing good there. interesting candle there. Euro AUD still not giving us what we want to see. However, we did have a wick, very good sign. AUD USD, we didn't get the bullish engulfing candle, and this has not broken the previous high. So we're gonna hold off on this. GBP CHF. The body of this candle closed below the previous high. So this could fill this range. However, we're going to want to see, we're going to definitely want to see some closure above here before we took a buy. Because this body closed below this previous high, which is typically not a good thing. But if we go back and look, yeah, you had it here, it drove up. You had wicks here that drove up. So GBP CHF is still a possibility. And then we had a total reversal here on AUD NZD. Again, right here with two dojis, which does signify a reversal. However, this broke below here, so this reversal could be retesting here and then going to drop down. So we could still be seeing, so again, we had the retest, the break. This could be a retest to then go down. So we don't want to get faked out here at all. We do not want to get faked out. Euro AUD, GBP AUD. Let's see here. Man, we did not get what we wanted to see here. We actually got the opposite on Euro AUD, which means AUD USD. AUD USD's reversal is more valid off this bottom area. Is a lot more valid. So this buy, so if we get a 15-minute candle closure, or even a 5, we can enter on the 5. So on the 5-minute here, guys, so this is AUD USD. On the 5-minute, there was the previous high right there. So on the 5-minute chart, for us to be able to take a buy here, if we get some breakthrough here on the 5-minute chart, we could look to enter a buy on AUD USD, because our Euro AUD trade did the exact opposite. However, we are still within a range here again, so we are still within this range, but closures above here for buys. AUD USD, we're going to need a closure above here for a buy. So closure above on 5-min. So we're going to want to see, yeah, we got to see it break this previous high right here on the 5-minute. So if we were to enter on a 5-minute, which I have no problem doing, entering on a 5-minute is not a bad thing. We're going to want to see it above there. And if we go to the hour here, we're getting movement. We had a doji, we had a reversal, and it was a bullish doji. But again, we want to have that confirmation. GBP CHF still doesn't know what it's doing. It's floating right now. There hasn't been enough movement on any of these charts for us to have made money, really. I hope you guys see that, is that there is not enough confirmation on any of these yet. Yet, that is. GBP USD rejecting nice there along the trend line. Yeah, wow, our Euro AUD trade is not really valid anymore, which means AUD USD on this 5-minute candle. Let's take a look here. This is where we looked. We got no wick though. We have no wick on this candle. So because we have no wick, you're probably going to get a wick created on this next 5-minute one. So we might see it drive up, create a wick, drive down, and then the following 5-minute candle. That's typically what happens. But see what happens when you have no wick here, drove down. You had no wicks here, drove down. We had almost no wicks there, drove down. Same thing here, almost no wick, and that's not a good sign because that's not a high probability trade when there's no wick there. Let's look for yeah, we're still watching this. All right, so no wick here, which is a good sign. So on our Euro AUD trade on the 5-minute, there was no wick. Again, you had no wick there. It switched. You had no wick here, but this one's driving. So if it breaks this, we're not even going to touch buys for a while if it breaks down here. AUD USD. We're looking for this to flip and close above. Again, no wick. GBP CHF. What were we looking at on this one? Yeah, this one is driving. This may fill. Again, still respecting the previous high. So not enough to take anything while it's respecting this previous high. AUD NZD popped off on that one. Popped off the line there. But again, this could still be a retracement, so we're not going to touch it yet. We did get a new 5-minute closure on Euro AUD, AUD USD. So it looks like it is getting some selling pressure here, probably because of the massive 5-minute buy candle that we had. But it also has some bull pressure fighting it, as you can see that it's not. As you can see that it's not just driving down, at least not yet. You're getting movement within the previous wick. So within that previous range is where you're getting movement, but we're not really seeing the full confirmation quite yet. It may take us another 5-10 minutes. And we did have news 3 hours ago, guys. 3 hours ago, Spanish CPI came out, and the euro did rise. And the US dollar actually is slipping quite a bit toward a new low. Well, actually like an 8-month low, according to this. So being that is the case too, that would help our Euro AUD trade with the euro rising, but we're getting a lot of movement here on this 5-minute chart. in between zones. All right, let's get some bullish movement here on AUD USD. That's what we want to see. Want this new 5-minute candle to go ahead and break that previous high. AUD USD, and let's go. Let me check 15-minute candles here. GBP CHF, we were looking at buys also. Big long wick, no bottom there. No bottom. That's a good sign. This could have been the retest, and this could drive on GBP CHF. The AUD NZD trade, we can take a look at that. Did the opposite too. We did not see it break, but again, it's going along this trend line still. So this trend line could reject and come back down, and that's where we don't want to get faked out. So that's why we're waiting. So for those who are asking why we haven't gotten into this yet, that is why, because we still looked at this. Our original analysis on this is that this was a sell. So this could just be a rejection, a retest again, and we could see it go down. Nothing in here that's good enough for me to take anything yet on that one. GBP CHF, same thing. We're still waiting on that wick. Let's hop down to this 15-minute on this. Euro AUD. Oh, there you go. That one's coming back. Here's our new 15-minute candle here on AUD USD. See what our new 15-minute candles are looking like over here. A lot of consolidation here on GBP USD along this trend line, which is not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. So we're going to wait to see if we can get closer above this area to confirm that this is in fact bouncing off this trend line. And on our GBP AUD one, this one's kind of far off from us taking anything. Let's see, Euro AUD. All these are kind of just sitting within zones, so I understand it is kind of frustrating, especially, you know, if you're sitting here watching the charts with me. That's just part of the game, though. Got to let the market come to us. We can't chase the market. I know a lot of people want to chase in between these 5-minute scalps and stuff. You can. It's just more risky. Not as high probability. The good thing is Euro AUD did reject here, so we did drop down to this area, but it is rejecting. Problem is AUD and Euro AUD are running inversely, so whichever one of these we take, we need to also make sure that the opposite chart's not gonna screw us, essentially. That's why it's important to look at both of them. right, let's see here. GBP CHF broke, so it's a good thing we didn't take that buy, guys. Again, this is why it's so important to wait for confirmation. If we took that buy, because on the hour candle we saw that big wick and we said, oh, this could fill the range. I mean, it is such a good thing we didn't take that buy because we're waiting for this confirmation. And I hope you guys, if there's anything you take away from this, it's that you have to see confirmation before you enter a trade. I mean, we'd be negative if we would have taken the buy up there. We'd be negative 15 pips right now. That's not good. And waiting for this closure is also going to ensure you don't get faked out. Because if I were a betting man, this is probably going to reject here because you've got 1, 2. Let's count how many you have here together. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, 5, 6. This would be the 7th rejection. That is a pretty strong rejection area. I mean, that is that's like textbook right there. So on this one, this could easily be a sell for GBP CHF because of this price action movement right now. If this 30-minute candle, let's look at the 30-minute candle. Yeah, this 30-minute candle, it was not engulfing, but we created range and we're still driving down. This 30-minute candle could indicate a sell, and we could look to sell toward, let's see, we could look to sell toward here, and we could look to sell also toward here. So this is actually closer to looking like a sell than it is a buy now. On AUD NZD, we had rejection right off of that trend line. I mean, right off the trend line, you had rejection. So this was what we were talking about, the come up and retest. That's a good sign for a sell. So I want to make sure we have all this typed out. Sells with closure below. Sells the closure below there. AUD USD. Again, this 30-minute AUD USD, we wanted to take a buy, but it doesn't look like as of right now we're going to touch it. Euro AUD, same thing. We got, we were looking for a buy. It's just not time yet. Market is not permitting us to take a buy right now until the closure breaks all of these right here. GBP USD, again, good thing we didn't buy off this trend line yet for a couple reasons, but the main one is, I mean, look at these wicks. It tried to break, it respected the previous high. This wick did not go further than this previous high, so we'll see what happens there. Now it's breaking it. Because we have these support levels here. We do have some pretty nice support levels to sell toward on this GBP USD trade. And we're probably not even going to touch this one today, this GBP AUD. Well, we got 8 minutes until a new 30-minute candle and a new 15-minute candle. So we'll probably have to wait until the next 15 or 30-minute candle here. So we got 8 minutes until we can see what we're going to do. I'd like to be able to get into a trade, but again, we're not going to force something if there is no trade available. And I hope everybody here understands that. All right, we did get a strong rejection here on this GBP CHF. Wasn't engulfing, and it did not have a wick, so we're probably going to create the wick here. The wick's going to have to get created here, which means it's going to come down this way and then retreat back up to create a wick before we see any downward movement. Where's everybody from in here? I know we got people from Brazil in here. I know we got people from South Africa in here. Where else we got? I'm in Florida, guys. US of A. USA, Florida. Huge rejection there off that line. GBP USD looks like it's going to break it. But again, last time we had these wicks here, you can look, we had these wicks prior, and then we had an explosion the other way. Euro AUD's trying to retreat back up off this line, which is a good thing because we can still look for these buys. AUD USD also dropping down but has range. We could look for these buys. This body closure above the previous wick is going to be a big deal for us here. If this body closure is below, it's going to be a while before we touch this trade. On the 30-minute time frame of AUD USD, that's going to be a big deal for us. All right, let's see here. We got 4 minutes until our 30-minute, guys. 4 minutes here, and hopefully we're going to get some movement in our direction. As you can see, my strategy here, guys, is pick a couple charts that I really like that have chances, mark them up, and then decide once one of them breaks where we think it should break, that that's going to be our best probability trade. I know I've been saying it over and over again, but it's something that I really need you guys to understand, especially because I get pictures of charts all the time of people asking me, you know, and that's great because I'm glad you guys are looking for feedback, but this is the way you need to trade for the highest probability. We can't just go entering trades based off of some movement. Again, if we would have entered this trade for a buy, we would have been in trouble. We'd now be, I mean, I don't even know how many pips right here we can check. If we would have entered when it was at the top up there, you'd be negative 17 pips right now. So it's really good that we're waiting for confirmation on these. Really important to make sure that we're doing that. I'm really hoping for this one of these Euro AUD or AUD USD buys. Those are the highest probability, and then this GBP CHF sell. Um, if we can close below this body with a wick in the next 2 minutes, I'd feel comfortable taking a sell here, especially off of this rejection area. I mean, if you look, like we talked about, 7 rejections here. This could be a pretty decent sell on this zone. Again, we just don't want to close with no wick for 2 candles in a row. All right, we got 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute till candle close, and we'll see what happens here. If we can get closure above there, we'll look for a buy. This one's just moving in the opposite direction, so I don't think we're going to get buys here for a while, which is good for buys here. We are still along a trend line, but not really. Got some support here. We definitely have the support, which is a good thing. And it was also a rejection point there. Charted sideways, went up, tested, 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 tested. So if we can get some bullish movement with the body of the candle close above here in 1 minute. We did get the close above. Let's just take a look at these others real quick. Not much of a lower candle close there. Not much of a wick at all on that one. AUD USD just a straight drop down to start the 30-minute. Euro AUD, we've got a pop up. Again, no wick there, so that's a good sign for upwards. This might close below. Let's see here. Might get into something here. Because again, we do have this line right there of a bunch of bodies where it has rejected and gone the other way. This one's dropping, which means this one's going to be climbing. Again, no wick. No wick. This is going to have to drive down this way before it goes back up. And the reason this is good right here is because we might create a wick this way, and then buying pressure might take this back through the roof. GBP CHF fully rejected too. So again, guys, we're right in between zones right now. We have had no closure below or closure above where we wanted it yet. And that's why we're not in any trades right now. Hopefully everybody understands that. This AUD NZD trade. We got the retest with a wick. No wick on the bottom here. No wick on the bottom, but it's struggling to break this mark right here. struggling to break our trend line, which is a good thing for the sells. All right, so let's take a look at this one. We did get, it did break the trend line, which is a good thing. So we could be looking for sells here, but again, we're going to want to see it break this line, this blue line that I have here, because otherwise we could get a reversal on us, like we did here, where it tapped the trend line and went, and that's where we don't want to get faked out. Euro AUD, you got a wick. That's probably going to wick down, so AUD USD should be going the other way. GBP CHF, again, look at that. I mean, see, so if we would have taken a sell, we still might be able to take sells because we got range down here, but if we would have taken a sell on that 30-minute right there, we'd be negative 4 or 5 pips right now. So again, not the ideal setup. They're still charting kind of in the middle. This is not an ideal setup until we get a closure below. And this one's trying to drive through its zone here on the 30-minute. We're trying to still get a drive through. A lot of weird price action movement right now. Almost everything is trying to retest our zones before they reverse again. We got a couple pip reversals here either way, but nothing to really write home about. This GBP USD trade is looking more and more like a buy if we can get closure that way. I know it did break the trend line, but you still got a higher high, a higher low, and a higher high here. So this is definitely still on an uptrend. And we have our levels here, our 3 levels. And it still hasn't broken this one in now quite some time. This one looks like it might keep falling. So this is definitely a good sign for AUD USD now, because we could still fill this range now. I understand that we do have a bearish candle here forming, and we're only 6 minutes into it, but this bearish candle is what's stopping us from taking a buy here. But if we get rejection, like I think we're going to, that'll be a really good sign that this thing is in fact going to fly up this way. But we're going to have to see and wait for that rejection, because if we would have taken the buy there, you're now negative. Sells with closure below, buys with closure above. So we'll wait to see on that. And we just had a couple 5-minute candles come out. So that's a good thing. Yeah, wow, look at that. Just straight down on what we thought was going to be a buy here. But it hasn't happened yet. And again, if you wanted to take buys here, you could, but the idea of what we're doing is to get in at the most optimal time. If we're able to get in at the most optimal time, that's when we're able to catch the best move. Because nobody wants to sit in a trade for a long time, you know? We want to get in at the time right before it makes its big move. And charting out like this is how you're going to make sure you get in right before that big move instead of having to sit for. These are 30-minute candles. You got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I mean, you'd be sitting in this trade for 6 hours if you would have got in somewhere in this area. That's not really ideal. We want to be able to get in and get out. That's how I like to trade, is let's make our money and let's get out. And whether that's 10 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips, 40 pips, the idea is just to get in and get out. Does anyone have any questions as to why we're not in a trade yet? Because I'd definitely be willing to clarify. I think we've kind of explained it, but I just want everyone to definitely understand why we are not in any trades yet. A lot of reversal. AUD should be going down, right? Yep. And a lot of these charts correlate. I mean, we got GBP and AUD and USD in a lot of these charts. So you could always cross-reference another chart. Like this GBP AUD is going up, which means this AUD one's probably going down, which it is. So if the AUD on the secondary pair is going up, the AUD on the first as the primary pair on one should be going down, and that is true in this situation. So they're going to correlate with each other, which is why you don't want to get into multiple trades with multiple pairs, selling or buying the same pair, because you could screw yourself in that regard. You definitely don't want to screw yourself like that. We might get rejection here. So we got 5 minutes until a new 15-minute candle. What we'll do is hop onto the 15-minute candle charts here, and we'll take a look and see what we got going on, to see if we're going to get into anything. This retest looks somewhat promising. It's now rejecting again, but this retest looks promising for this downtrend on the 15-minute, especially since we broke here already. This is probably the most promising chart we have right now. That's AUD NZD. GBP CHF totally came back up, which is crazy because it looked like it was going to drive down. On the 15, again, we're dead in the center here. We're just in no man's land on AUD USD and Euro AUD. We're kind of in no man's land between here and here. So this is not really one that we're going to want to touch yet. We did get range on this. On the GBP USD, we got range with a small breakage of the trend line here. But we're out of support. I'm going to need to see closure somewhere. Closure below here, closure above the trend line for anything there. And GBP AUD, we're in no man's land. So it's looking like our best trade right now is going to be right here. Sunrise, Florida. There you go, another Florida guy. So if this rejects right here, like I think we will, we'll look to sell AUD NZD in the next 5 minutes here, 3 minutes here. Because every time it's touched this downtrend, we got the retest. The retest was huge. The break and retest is big to show that this could probably drop toward these areas. That's important. But this looks like a solid setup right now. So our number one focus right now is going to be AUD/NZD. So we took a sample size of what, 5, 6 charts, and out of the 6 charts, we've narrowed it down to like 3 that we're looking at. And of the 3 that we're looking at, this one is going to be the highest probability trade based off of market structure, price action movement, and the candlestick patterns. This is by far going to be our best setup now. So if we get a good enough rejection here off this in 2 more minutes, we could look for some sells here. GBP CHF drove all the way down from being all the way up there, respected the previous body high. She's going to sell too. Yeah, look at that. Wow. There it is. There's your sell on that one. Check the hour real quick. Yeah. So on the 15-minute GBP CHF, we're about to get a really good close on GBP CHF. Let's take a look here. GBP CHF. Yeah. We're going to wait for it to retest. AUD/NZD closed with a doji. All right. So based off what we're seeing, we're going to look at, I just want to double check these to make sure we're getting into the best trade here. Yeah, we got a full closure above that broke. So GBP CHF and AUD/NZD. We're going to take a sell on AUD/NZD right now. So chat, if you guys can see this, we're going to go take a short position here. We're going to get in right here. Our stop loss is going to be at the top of this previous high. And our take profit is going to be, so we've got a couple take profits here. Let me zoom out to the hour. There's our take profit. So I am now in on this AUD/NZD trade on my account as well. We're in a sell here right now. We did get rejection off there, and we're getting a retest, yeah. So we're in a sell on this right now. let's drop down here to the 15-minute. So we entered on right here, as you can see, and now we just wait. So we are in a trade live though. Now we're going to see what happens. And I'm not going to send this trade out. We're just going to sit in this one together live. I also do really like this this trade here, this GBP CHF trade at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock here, so in 15 minutes. If this is down here again, we're going to sell this toward this area. But right now, we're only going to stay in one trade. We're going to try and catch, let's see here. Try and catch between 11 and 15 pips here. See if we can catch that before we hop into another trade. But now it's a waiting game, guys. Now it's a waiting game. And obviously, as you guys all know, that's the hardest part of trading, is now we're in a trade and we're waiting. And taking trades live is definitely, a gamble too. Not a calculated risk, but taking trades live is not always the easiest, especially because if you're wrong, you got people watching. But we went with our plan here, and we're sticking to it. We did our analysis, and this is the trade that we decided to take. I like the rejection off this line. I like the retest. That's the main reason. And if you go to the 4 hour here, if you look at the 4 hour here, it broke through. It's trying to retest. It didn't. It dropped. We should be seeing this drive down. If we go to the 1 hour, the 1 hour could fill the range up here again, but it's already rejected there once along this trend line. And then we go to the 15-minute, we got rejection, a doji. It didn't know what it wants to do, and now we're looking like hopefully we'll get some drive down movement here. So we will see what happens here. But we got 10 minutes until the new hour candle. That's going to give us some indication on where we're at. But we have our stop loss right around 1.09219, which gives us a stop loss of 15 pips. So we have a 15 pip stop loss. And then ideally our first take profit's going to be around 10 pips. Second take profit would be around 20 pips. And then obviously so on and so forth down even further. And good thing we did not take a sell there. Wow. Look at that. GBP CHF just flew. Glad we did not take a sell there. I mean, that's crazy. Great we didn't take a sell there. So we should get some rejection off this trend line again. And it may come up here and test this again, but I don't think it's going to re-break this. And if it does come up here and test, you could re-enter again. So if you wanted to, if it does test this area, this could be another re-enter right here. But we'll see what happens coming into this next 11 o'clock hour here. If that's something that we're going to do or if we're going to hold off. but I am in this. I entered 4 times right now. And she's kind of just pushing sideways. And hop down to the 5-minute here, get some more movement. We can see that, yeah, she tried. She tried to break it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 minutes she tried to break it. We're going to get another attempt to break it right now. But if she stays along this trend line like we think so, we're going to see some drive down. Is everyone in this trade? Who's in this trade right now with us? Let me know if you're in this trade or not. Demchuk in this trade. Good. And we can take a look at our other charts. I'm not going to enter anything else, but yeah, this one went down again, which was crazy. This one also down again. We wouldn't have entered here. Ariel also in this trade. Awesome. Yeah, we're just seeing some weird movement here. I mean, even GBP USD, we were, yeah, I mean, just complete rejection. There's no moving upward. GBP AUD, again, complete rejection. What trade is it? We're in AUD NZD, and we're in a sell right now on AUD NZD. We're in a sell on this. The reason we're in a sell on this is because it broke our zone. This is our resistance zone, or our support zone. It's now a new resistance zone because it broke and it retested, and now it's trying to retest again, and we should see this drive down this way. Ideally, we got to take profit 1, we got to take profit 2, and we got to take profit 3 if we were going to be in it for this long. So that's what we're looking at right now. Again, we got 5 more minutes until the new candle. And we are getting some movement the opposite way, but that's all right because we have set up our trade the way we want it to. So I'm not too worried about this one right now. So we're just sitting in this. Yep, just have to be patient, exactly. You know, it's not always going to move directly in the way you want it to, but it's based off this chart. I don't see this breaking this area, especially since we broke this zone. And if it does close the way it's going to right now, it's going to close with no wick. And realistically, if you wanted to give it more wiggle room, you could have your stop loss up here because there's an even higher percentage that it's not going to be up there. You could have your stop loss here. I had it here, but you could have it higher. You could have your stop loss here if you wanted to give it some more wiggle room. We'll keep it where I put it, though, just because I don't want to be moving stop losses. And it should reject that line, but we shall see. Got 3 more minutes until the candle closure here. So we got 3 minutes to see what's going to happen. Look at some of these other ones. GBP-CHF went all the way down there before it shot back up. That's pretty crazy. AUD-USD is going to shoot back up again and try and retest the area. Good thing we didn't touch this Euro AUD trade. It's a really good thing we didn't touch this one because we were looking for buys here and this just flew down. I mean, absolutely flew down. Yeah, good thing we didn't touch that one. GBP-USD looks like it might rebound off this one. And GBP-AUD, we're not really touching. Again, if you want to give yourself some more wiggle room, you can put your stop loss at the top of this zone, being that this whole area is a zone. Again, that's why we don't put a line. It's a zone. If you did want to have your stop loss up here, you could give it more wiggle room. That's totally up to you. But yeah. We'll see what happens here. We got 1 more minute. We got 1 more minute. GBP-CHF trade. This is still scary to look at. All right, here's our new candle here. So we'll see what happens going into this new candle. We're going to see what happens. There was no top wick on that. So there's 0 top wick on that previous candle closure. Yeah, you're probably going to see a pullback on GBP-CHF. It might drive for a little, but I think you're going to see a pullback on this one, especially with this range we created on the last one. Probably look for a sell there, but I'm not going to get in anything else until we're out of this trade. Or if I do, I'd get in small, but I wouldn't advise being in multiple trades at once. You don't want to over leverage your account. Definitely don't want to do that. Yep, so we are in a trade, guys. If you're just joining, we're in AUD, NZD sell. We had it retest the zone here. We should see some movement downward. But we're just waiting now. We are in a trade live. We have our setup here. And now we're just waiting to see what happens. But based off this retest and no wick on this previous candle, I would assume we're going to see this downward movement here. Only, what, 8 pips? All right, we are getting some rejection like we thought, which is good. So we're getting that movement downward. Last time we had a candle with no wick, it did the same thing. So we had a candle with no wick here. The next two candles went up. We got a candle with no wick here. The next two candles here should be down, ideally. But the no wick there and the breakthrough, the zone and the retest is what we're going off of here. So if you're wondering why we're in this trade, that is why we're in this trade. You can look at some others here. GBP CHF. Yeah, that's looking like a sell all day. But again, we want some more confirmation there. AUD USD still is just charting in the middle. Euro AUD drove all the way down to where we would have put our stop loss if we bought there, which we did not. We did not buy there. So we're still waiting on that. And GBP USD, we did get some rejection here, but again, it could fill this range or this range. So that's the reason we're in the AUD NZD trade out of all of these. I know we were looking at almost 6 charts here. This was the most promising one. Could we have waited to get in up here? Possibly, but based off of the smaller time frames, this is where we decided to get in. This is where we decided to get in. Hopefully on this 5-minute we can get engulfing. That'd be nice. But when you get two candles that are almost the same size at the top, that's a pretty good sign of reversal also. Yeah, so now we wait. Anyone have any questions? I'm probably not going to wait the whole time on stream. We've been on stream for, what, 2 hours and 10 minutes? So we're in this trade. Hopefully everyone has their stop losses and their take profits in place. But does anyone have any questions at all before we hop off here? I gave it a couple minutes, but we can probably wait till the we can wait. All right. So the volume indicator. How I use that. So the volume is the bottoms down here, are these bottom bars. If you can see, you've got green and you've got red bars here at the bottom. So the green bars indicate that you have bullish movement, and that correlates directly because you can see there was bullish movement here when you had a lot of bullish movement there. The smaller the candle, the smaller the amount of volume. So like here, you had a bunch of small candles. There wasn't really too much movement. Here we had some bigger candles. We had a big green push beforehand here, which is where we had the big green push right when we entered. So we're using the volume. The size of the bar is going to indicate the more amount of volume, and the color of the bar is going to indicate if it is a bullish or bearish buying power or selling power. So right now we had another pretty big selling candle here. We've got another smaller one. Hopefully going into the next candle, we're going to get some more selling pressure as people see this rejection here through the zone. But your volume is going to correlate directly with the candlesticks on the chart. And I'm just using this regular volume indicator. That's it. All it is all it is just regular volume. You can use any volume indicator. That's really the only indicator that I use religiously to just look at charts. Hopefully that answers your question, audio. We got a couple more minutes here until we're in the until we get to the next 15-minute candle. So if we hop, let's see. Well, we got 3 minutes until the next 5-minute candle. Again, I really like the fact that we had this rejection. That just goes to show, give us more confirmation that it rejected. It rejected once, and then it came up and it rejected twice. We have 2 rejection confirmations. That's good enough for me, especially with the downtrend. And we could technically move this, the trend line. We could move the trend line here if we wanted to. Sorry. But we'd still want it to be, yeah, the trend line could look like that now. But now we're just waiting, guys. It's all a waiting game here. We're coming right back to our entry, which is good after the rejection. So that's a good sign. We would like to definitely see a wick, though. So if we don't get a wick, we may get a little more pullback, but we do want to see a wick going into this next 5-minute candle, and then definitely going into the 15-minute candle at 11:15 Eastern time here. Take a look at this 15-minute. There's our new 5-minute. Yeah, this 15-minute candle. If this 15-minute candle becomes a bearish engulfing candle, we'll be in good shape here. We'll probably see some up and down movement going into it, but if we can get some bearish movement, that would be great. Some more confirmation. What's up, Mark? So we'll hop back down to 5-minute here just to watch it so we can see it a little better, see some more movement. Probably create the wick there. Because there wasn't much of a wick on that 5-minute, it might pop up and create a little bit of a wick and then come back down. But you can see it's fighting. It's not really moving either way, up or down too much, which is typically a good sign while it's on a downtrend that it's fighting to go up. If it's not moving up, that's a good sign. We should wick downward here and move in our direction. But again, we set our chart up, and this is what we're going with. You guys saw a top-down analysis of this entire chart. I would take this trade 10 times over. This is not a trade that I would not take based off what we just saw. And based off the analysis that we did from the 4-hour to the 1-hour to the 15-minute, I'd take this trade all day. All day. I really got to figure out the music thing for the next stream. I know no one likes silence. We got 3 minutes until our next 15-minute candle, guys. Yeah, David, we are in a live trade right now. We are in AUD NZD right now. We're in a sell. If you want to get in right now, you definitely can get in. We got in right about here. What is that, like 3 pips ago? So we had it come up and reject, and now it's coming back down. We're coming into 3 minutes until a 15-minute candle, and we'll see what happens here. But we're in a sell. We are in a sell because we had a breakthrough, a retest, another retest. And again, you can have your stop loss in 2 places. You could have it at the top of this previous high, or if you want to give it a little more wiggle room, you could have your stop loss up here. That's going to really depend on your risk management strategy. But either here or up here is where you could have your stop loss, and that's totally up to you guys. I put it here for just to make it a little tighter on stream. But up here is also a very valid stop loss up in this area. And on the 5-minute, that wick did not break the previous high, so that's a really good thing. We're keeping the structural integrity there. Got to make sure my camera doesn't die next time. And also, good thing is we are creating range here on this lower candle on the 15-minute. This range is good. Not having much of a top at all is also a very good sign. So going into this next candle in another minute here, no wick up here, so it hasn't created range. We are creating range here. So a drive down is something that we could look forward to. And we got our new candle here. And now we wait. If you also wanted to have a tighter stop loss and you don't want to let this thing go the other way, if you did want to, you could have a much tighter stop loss. That's totally up to you guys. I'm going to keep mine where it is. But yeah, we're going to sit on this one and wait. We should get downward movement here. The entry point on this one was 1.09075, but you could also get in now, David. At this point, we're in for a sell, so you're actually at a better position if you get in now or if you wanted to re-enter now. But we're assuming that it is not going to break this area. If it does, it shouldn't break this top area. If it does, we'll manage risks and get out. However, based on this test and re-break and test, this should drive down based on market structure. We are getting a lot of movement, though, going into this this new 15-minute candle's getting a lot of movement. which is a good thing. Anyone else have any questions? I think we're gonna let this trade ride for a while. I'm not gonna stay on through the whole trade. Could be another hour before we're in profit. But does anyone else have any questions? Again, I appreciate everybody hopping on today. We are in a live trade. So if you do have any questions, you guys know how to reach me on Telegram. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like the stream, please. If you like it, at the bottom there's a like button. Make sure you click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. It'll give you notifications when I go live, when I post educational videos, all that good stuff to make sure that you're notified and on board with the plan that we have in terms of trading. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm glad most of you were able to make it. I see a lot of familiar faces in here that have been here a couple times, a couple students in here, so a couple clients in here. And so I'm glad you guys were able to make it in for most of this stream. But yeah, we're 2 hours and 25 minutes into this stream, and we finally just took a trade. Again, to sum it up, that was based off our trading strategy. We aren't going to go force trades. We're only going to go into trades that fit our trading criteria. And I want everyone to definitely understand that, because that is the most important part of this. So we are sitting on this trade, this AUD-NZD. If nobody has any questions, I'm going to close this stream for the day. And I'll definitely post the results of this trade regardless of how it goes. But we are getting our downward pressure. So if anyone has any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. And by speak now, I mean write in the chat. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all hopping in. And until next time, we might stream tomorrow. I'm going to probably put a poll inside the chat here to see who wants to stream. If people are able to stream tomorrow, if I can hop on tomorrow, we'll make something happen. So, again, thanks, guys. And looking forward to the next one. Let's make some money together, and we'll see what happens with this trade. Thanks, guys.